This afternoon tea will be compared to the Drake in Chicago. I just can't help myself. How will it stack up? The good, the bad, the ugly, and the yummy of afternoon tea. Montreal Tea Tour stop number 2. My second afternoon tea in Montreal was at the Palm Court at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. This space is gorgeous, just inside the door of the Ritz Hotel. From my understanding, they have 3 seatings per day, and we arrived for our 11:30 a.m. seating early, so I was able to get some great footage of the space. Pretty, n'est-ce pas? Let's start with the good, as always. The good aspect here was the food in general. Let's say the diversity in food, in that the savories all had different types of bread or carbs, different shapes and sizes and flavors. The sweets were also diverse in colors and flavors and textures, so we will call the diversity in food served as the good aspect here. Let me break down what we were served. The tea offered here is the Sloan brand. This is a common brand in Ontario as well. I chose the Heavenly Cream and my husband chose the Pear White Tea. We both enjoyed our tea choices. They were loose-leaf tea inside cinched tea bags. Honestly, I'm actually getting pretty tired of seeing the Sloan brand of tea served at so many tea rooms. There is nothing wrong with it, but I like to see more diversity. Yes, even if I always order Earl Grey or a version of Earl Grey, the Sloan brand carries a rather limited variety, and I think tea rooms should offer more than what is available through Sloan for other people besides me, especially since so many tea rooms are serving this brand now. Okay, getting off my soapbox. For savories, we each got 5 bites, 2 roast beef and truffle mayonnaise, a cucumber-infused jelly and cream cheese tart, a souvlaki and tzatziki chicken salad bun. We asked for no salmon, so we received a second chicken salad bun as a substitute. In terms of taste, the roast beef bread was dry from sitting out too long, although maybe that's our fault for not eating it the minute it arrived. More about that in a minute. And it did not have enough roast beef inside. I only tasted mayonnaise. The chicken salad bun was tasty and tasted exactly like minced souvlaki. And my favorite savory bite was the cucumber jelly tart because it was so unique. I have never had infused jelly in a savory item like this, and I liked it a lot. For scones, we each received 2, a plain scone and a cranberry blueberry scone. It was served with strawberry jam, some type of fruit jelly, and mock Devonshire cream with lemon. Yes, lemon cream. Ugh! The cream tasted like melted lemon ice cream to me. Definitely not proper clotted cream, as it should be at a venue such as this. We had to share these servings, and while it was not a lot for 4 total scones, we made it work. The scones were fine, nothing wrong with them, but nothing to write home about either, as my grandma would say. For sweets, we each got 3 different bites, a mini pavlova with some type of fruit inside, a strawberry and basil cake, and a dark chocolate tart. These sweets were all good. The basil with the strawberry wasn't my favorite combo, but I know it's not an unheard of flavor combination. The chocolate tart was by far my favorite, and it tasted really good with my husband's pear tea. The tart shell was very thin, which I liked. Yum! Overall, I've classified the food here as pretty good. The bad parts here were not egregious, but I think they are worth noting as there are a few. I am taking the time to make notes because this is a high-end venue with a higher price tag, so expectations are also higher, especially mine. Here are the downside points. First, our food was served before we had even poured our tea. It was still steeping. I prefer to at least sip most of 1 cup before receiving my food. I don't need to be rushed through my tea pouring and sipping. Thank you very much. I noticed this at other tables too, so it appears to be the norm to bring the food out very quickly, too quickly. A venue like this should have better food pacing. Second, I paid by credit card and left a cash tip inside the leather bill fold thing. As we were getting up to leave, the food delivery server rushed over to let us know that service had not been included in the price. As in, why didn't you leave us any gratuity on your credit card? I opened the billfold to show her the cash money I had left inside, and she apologized. I didn't say anything in reply, but I was not impressed. Imagine being a person who rushes over to let your customers know you should have left a tip. Gratuities are optional, no? Very awkward and quite off-putting to me. At a high-end tea such as this, I would have also liked a printed menu of what food was being served so I could reference what I was eating. Our food was delivered and explained so quickly I wasn't even really paying attention when our food was delivered. So we kept trying to overhear at other tables when their food was described to remember what flavors we were eating. This was true for the chicken bacon sandwich, the strawberry basil cake, and the fruit jelly, which we never did get to overhear what fruit it was. A printed menu would make all the difference. At this price point, $63 per person, I felt like there should have been one more savory item, one more sweet item, a lemon posset would have been awesome, and definitely there should be real clotted cream here served for the scones. Lastly, the food here is not refillable. When I said I was going to compare this tea to Palm Court at the Drake in Chicago, that is because that is the last so-called fancy, read overpriced tea I attended, and the food there was great and it was endless. At that Palm Court, we were offered more of all three tiers, so I attend tea at this Palm Court with that level of expectation. Had the food been refillable, I would have enjoyed another one of those cucumber jelly bites, as it was so different. Anyway, this Palm Court did not wow me like the Palm Court in Chicago. Wah wah, sad face. Those are my negative points, all fairly minor though, but based on this being the Ritz-Carlton, where my expectations are simply higher by its name. The yummy here was the chocolate tart, as it was my favorite bite. Based on my overall experience, my Queen of Afternoon Tea rating is 3.5 out of 5 stars. Have you been to the Ritz-Carlton Montreal for afternoon tea? Would you go? Comment below with your impressions and be sure to like and follow and subscribe to all my accounts to keep it growing and growing. More Montreal teas to follow.